Here we are at the 44th Arles Rencontres Photography Festival, and this year's theme is Arles in Black, which actually means Arles in black and white. And the big question is it still valid to produce black and white images in today's digital world? There's some amazing stuff on display here. The first is a big show by Wolfgang Tillmans of new work, amazing big colour prints that have to be seen to be believed. And a show called The Politics of Image by Alfredo Jar, a Chilean photographer who interrogates the media and their uses of image, particularly the American media. And a brilliant show by Viviane Sassen of her fashion photography, and a Pieter Hugo show called There's a Place in Hell for Me and My Friends, which interrogates blackness in a whole different way.
So the work that I'm showing here is called There's a Place in Hell for Me and My Friend. And it's a series of identikit style portraits of my friends and myself, a group of people that are from South Africa or have decided to call South Africa home. The portraits are made using large format digital photography, very simple identikit style portraits, which I photograph in color. And then I convert the images to black and white using Photoshop. And I take the red channel and pull it into black. And by doing this, I emphasize the melanin, the pigment that gives your skin its quality, its tonal range. By doing this, you show up all kind of latent skin damage that is in the sitter. In this series, I am interested in how the environment that the subjects find themselves in has imprinted itself on the subjects. First, superficially, what you see is something that divides you between white and black. You end up with I think, with a kind of a bastard race, as opposed to something that's either black or white. But what is interesting is that this work is made, even though we're at a festival which is about black and white, or black, this work is made using color. Color is essential to this. So what at first might appear superficially to differentiate you white or black is actually what brings you together in a very kind of idealistic way, is in fact red, green, brown, blue, etc. In fact, we are not black or white, we're all composed of color. And to be able to make this technique, or this type of print, I need to be able to use the color channels. This series, There's a Place in Hell for Me and My Friends, to me is a very intimate project that is something I did in between two other big bodies of work. And I never really thought that it would have a life. I've had one or two small commercial shows with it, it's been on a few small group exhibitions. But I never envisaged that it would have more of a life than that. So to have it on Arles as a solo exhibition is fantastic.
The show In and Out of Fashion is a kind of compilation of 17 years of my fashion photography. I made the selection myself. It was pretty difficult because there's just so much material. But then on the other hand, I love making books because I also made a book out of it, which consists of like 300 images or so. And it's like cleaning up your closet, which is great. I love making books because then it's out in the world and you don't have to think about it anymore. I think I was working as a photographer and on and off as a fashion photographer, but also doing my personal work at the same time. And then I was always kind of jealous of photographers who would really have a theme, like something they wanted to say, basically. And in the beginning, I didn't really know what to make of it myself. I think there are a lot of similarities in the fashion work and then in my personal work, but I think those are mainly formal. And for me, there's working on my personal work or my art, it feels very different than working on my fashion stuff. I almost see it as two different sides of my personality. So one is more introvert and one is more extrovert. So the art is much more personal and introvert, and it's more solitary, and then the fashion is much more extrovert, and I work with larger groups of people, and yeah, in that sense it's different. When I was young, I was always drawing, and at some point before I went to art school, I also thought of becoming a graphic designer. So I always had this love for graphic shapes, and I guess, and for instance, the real black and the real white, like the contrasts, is something that, I don't know, maybe it comes from my childhood as well. Like when I lived in Africa, the sun is so harsh, the shadows are so strong, the colors are so vivid. So maybe I was influenced by that.